Не рановат тебе еще бриться?
Солдат.
He was the youngest soldier in World War II, only 6 years old, shuttling back and forth in dangerous trenches, delivering bullets to frontline soldiers, and executing missions in the gunfire. Any careless move could lead to his death. His name was Sergei. A few days ago, he was sleeping at home when his mother suddenly ran into his room, picked him up, threw him out the window, and told him to run without looking back. His mother was then shot by the enemy. The war burned the entire village, and only Sergei escaped. While crying and calling for his mother, he ran into the forest.
Мама, где я? Где ты, мама? Мама.
From that moment on, he knew he would never see his mother again. The next morning, Sergei was drinking water by the river when several German soldiers came to search the forest. He panicked and hid in a tree hole, covering his mouth with his small hands, not daring to make a sound. Even if a venomous snake crawled by his side, he did not move, understanding that the German soldiers were more dangerous. Soon, the 3 Germans left after eating, and the leftover scraps became Sergei's only food for the next few days. Later, Sergei wandered in the forest. When his shoes broke, he wrapped them with tree bark and continued to walk. When he was hungry, he ate wild fruit. When thirsty, he drank rainwater, and when it was dark, he picked up sticks as weapons.
Подходи. У меня ружье.
But Sergei's small body could not withstand it for long, and he weakly lay on the ground. A hedgehog crawled to his side, and Sergei helplessly said,
Чего смотришь, колючка наедая? Сбегал, сказал нашим.
and then fainted. After some time, a Soviet scout found him and took him back to the camp. When everyone saw the little boy covered in injuries, they all crowded around him.
Ёжик про меня рассказал.
Even the usually serious commander was amused by the little boy in front of him. When the commander asked for his name, Sergei stood up and shook hands politely, but when asked about his parents, this brave little man shed tears.
Тетка Анисия сказала, что мама.
Seeing this child who had lost everything, the soldiers were heartbroken, and they all gently hugged him to comfort him. The next day, he was taken to a field hospital. The beautiful and gentle nurse took care of him carefully, and the commander often visited him, even taking out his own gun magazine for Sergei to play with. Sergei's appearance brought joy to the hospital full of pain, and the soldiers often brought gifts to visit him. The lively and lovely Sergei became the mascot here, warming every heart that had been ravaged by war. The nurse begged the commander to let the child stay in the camp, but he firmly opposed it because the child did not belong on the battlefield. The nurse was stunned.
Здесь никому не место.
A few days later, Sergei recovered and was sent to an orphanage. Although the commander was reluctant to part with him, he had no choice but to let him go. He gave Sergei a small wooden gun as a parting gift, and Sergei hugged him.
Я так ждал тебя, так боялся.
These 2 sentences changed the commander's mind. He decided to keep Sergei and adopt him as his own son. When the soldiers heard that Sergei was going to stay, they were particularly happy. An old tailor worked overnight to make him a new military uniform. Wearing the uniform, a brave soldier was born.